Welcome to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. We are going to learn the topic population attributes. So in the previous 3 videos, we discussed ecology in the organism level. Today onwards, we are discussing at the population level of ecology. Population means what? It is a group of organisms living in the same habitat and they are able to interbreed. So then naturally there is a question that is called a species, right? The group of organisms which are very similar in characteristics and able to interbreed are called a species. But we know species can be in different localities. A species of hibiscus that I am seeing, the same species can be in a faraway place also. So it is distributed in different regions. But population means those group of animals or plants are found in the same locality or the same geographical area. So far we discussed the organisms, but when we talk about population, population has got certain attributes which were not there in organism. So this is a very important question for you. What are the attributes of population which are not there for the organisms? So the first one is sex ratio. When we talk about a particular organism, it's either male or female. Only it has sex. Whereas when we talk about population, sex ratio is there. You know, when we take census or the account of population of a country, every 10 years we take census in India, there is actually a ratio determined, that is a female to male ratio. The ratio is 933 to 1000 all over India, but in Kerala the situation is different. There it is very high, 1084 females to 1000 males. So females are more in the state of Kerala. So that's about sex ratio, which we can find only for a population. The next attribute is the birth and death ratio. So usually an individual has a birth date and when it is dying a death date, right? Birth and death only. But when we talk about a population, birth ratio and a death ratio. So we have to find birth and death ratios. So there is an example. Suppose there is a, we can find it for any duration of time depending upon the lifespan of the organism. For example, in a pond, if there are 20 lotus plants initially, okay, so after maybe 1 year it becomes 28. So 8 more plants are added to it. So here what is the difference or what is the number added? It's increase. Actually increase means what? We are going to find out the birth rate. It's not ratio, birth rate. Okay, so the 28 means 8 increased, right? What was the initial? 20. That should come as the denominator. So we get the answer 0.4. So how will we write? 0.4, because we know that there is no birth like a 0.4 birth, right? So 0.4 offsprings, means no individuals are called offsprings per lotus. That means we are not talking about the number of offsprings added, but the rate is told per head what is the increase. So we know otherwise one individual at least one day should reproduce. Here per head we are dividing it into the total number. So per head only 0.4 increase. So 0.4 offsprings per lotus. That means every lotus is not reproducing but still per lotus per year. So this is how we calculate. Suppose there is another example. There is fruit fly. So suppose there are 80 fruit flies in one lab, and within 2 weeks many are dying, only 40 are left. So in this case what is the difference? 40. Then what was the initial number? 80. So we can say that it is 0.5. How will we write here? 0.5. So here we are writing the death ratio. Can we write offsprings here? No, offsprings are applicable for birth only. So 0.5 individuals or organisms per fruit fly per week or month, whatever it is. Okay, suppose here it is in 1 week, then per week. If it is in 1 month, per month or fortnight, okay, whatever it is applicable. This is how we calculate. Now coming to age pyramid. Age pyramid also there are different types. That is, first one is a pyramid shape. That in the age categories, we have 3 categories. One is called the post-reproductive. Here we are considering males and females together. Post-reproductive means what? Reproductive ability is not more there because they have reached the old age. Okay, so they will not add to the population. And the next group is reproductive age. That means the individuals who are able to reproduce. Then the pre-reproductive. That means children in the population. Suppose we know if children are more in a population, the next generation is going to be increase in population. That is bigger in number because they all are going to reproduce. So if you consider this, we get three different types of the age pyramids. So first one is a typical pyramid shape, where on top we have very less post-reproductive age people. Then comes the reproductive stage more than that, whereas children are the most. That means in future more members will be added to the population. So it is a kind of expanding population. Now the second type of population in which the pre-reproductive members and the reproductive members are more or less same, whereas post-reproductive members are less. That means it is going to maintain the same number of people. So it is called a stable pyramid. Okay, stability is there. So it is kind of a bell-shaped structure. The last one has got the broader middle and a narrow top and a bottom. That means post-reproductive and pre-reproductive both are less, but reproductive age is high. Since pre-reproductive are less than the reproductive, future generation will produce less number of individuals, so population is going to decrease. So it is a declining age pyramid. So any country, if they analyze this pattern of increase in population, they can plan out their developmental activities for the country for the coming generations. Then last is the population density. Population size means the number of organisms living in a particular habitat. But when we talk about population density, number of individuals within a unit area. So we know that sometimes we have learned in social science that is in Arunachal Pradesh the population density is very less. But when we come to Mumbai or Maharashtra, we have very thick populated place. So in a small area more number of people are living, so density is high. So we have different methods of finding out the population density. The first one is the absolute count, means like census we are taking. We are literally counting the head, how many individuals are there. In some populations it's possible. Suppose if I want to count the rose plants in a garden, it's possible for me, I can just count how many rose plants are there. But think about a number of fishes in a pond or in the sea when we are going to capture. It is not possible for me to count the fish there, right? Absolute count is not possible. So there we go for a relative count. Relative means I am just getting an average idea. So if I am catching fish, per catch what is the number? Its average I can take it as the number of the fish in there. So absolute count is not possible, but relative measure only we are doing. Then another one is always the number may not help, because in a place if you take, there is a huge banyan tree and there are 200 Parthenium plants. Parthenium means carrot grass, which is a weed which came with the wheat varieties when we imported during our green revolution programs. Okay, so it is a weed, we don't want that. So 200 Parthenium plants, number wise if you see, Parthenium is more, but banyan tree is only one. But what about the significance? Look at the biomass content. So the whole Parthenium 200 if you take also, it may come to maybe one branch or a twig of this banyan tree only, right? So significance wise or biomass wise, we can say that the banyan tree is very significant for us because it is providing shelter for hundreds of animals, birds, like animals means birds, insects, squirrels and other kind. They feed the organisms with their fruits and all, and they give lot of oxygen out for the environment. So the significance is very high. Parthenium is less significant. So we can say here number is not helping us, but the biomass is counted. Now, when taking the tiger census in a forest, it's not possible for us to see the tiger and count it all the time. So sometimes we go for indirect methods. What are these indirect methods? Either we can count their pug marks or sometimes the fecal pellets, if we get, that is excreta if we say, by analyzing that we know how many tigers are there in that particular forest. So these are the different methods for measuring the population density of a particular area. So these are the population attributes which are not there for the organisms. Hope you understood this video clearly. Please wait for the next video. If you like my videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel Biology My Passion.